Hello, this is Mr. Wynn, and today's video will be about quadratic inequalities, but I'll use the quadratic formula approach instead of the factoring approach. So, remember an inequality has one of these symbols, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. If you see one of those four things, that means you must shade in the shade, and if there's shading, that means you need a graph. So, graphing and shading. Now, we're just going to graph the picture like normal. There's lots of ways to graph it. But our method will be using quadratic formula to find the roots. We're basically finding these 2 points. Once you have that, you can figure out if it's a regular U or upside down U, a flipped U. So it depends on A. If A is positive, it goes up, regular U. If it's negative, it goes down, upside down U. And we're just estimating where the vertex is. We're not actually finding it. We just need a general shape. Then we're going to pick a test point not on the parabola. So if you do quadratic formula, we're going to want to pick a test point between the 2 points or on that same same y, with the same x-axis. If we can't use quadratic formula, which sometimes we won't be able to, we'll have to do the vertex and we'll pick a point above or below the vertex. Anyways, if the test point works, you shade that spot. If the test point fails, you shade the other spot. So again, the steps down there, find the roots using quadratic formula, graph the 2 roots and make the u, try a test point between the roots. Now our answers, there's 2 types. First, if you have 2 variables, for example, x and y, the graph is your answer, nothing else, right? You just stop after the picture. But if you have only 1 variable, for example, the same equation, but with the 0 instead of y, this is x now, you don't need the graph. You just want the part that's the x-axis. And we'll write that as inequality. The answer will be the bottom left thing. It will either be this or it will be this. And that's your answer, not the picture. However, the picture will help us answer that. All right, and I'll show you in a bit. Now, make sure you get the signs correct. It's always, if it's shaded inside the U, it's supposed to be number less than x less than number, right? Less than. Don't change those signs around. If it's outside the U, it's always letter, so x less than the number, and the word or, and then x greater than the other number. The only change you could do is if there's a solid line, then you put equal signs underneath. But those arrows do not change directions at all. So here's the first one, graph and solve the quadratic inequality. Well, if it's quadratic, we like quadratic formula. Now that is not standard form, so just make sure you don't mess up. I'm going to rewrite that in standard form. Basically, remember ax squared, so x squared first, then x second, and then the non-x term last. All right, now I can do quadratic formula. So treat this like an equal signs, ignore that inequality. But this does mean shading later on. All right, so A, B, and C. A is -1, B is 6, C is -5. Plug into the formula we've used so many times. So negative B plus or minus square root of B squared in parentheses minus 4 times A times C, all divided by 2 times A. All right, now we do the inside, the discriminant, the number inside the square root. So for that, I'd use a calculator. By the way, make sure you know the bottom is -2. So 6 squared is 36 minus 20. That gives us 16. All right, since it's positive, there's 2 roots, 2 different answers, but next we take the actual square root of 16. So we know that is 4 over -2. Then we do the 2 cases. The first case is -6 plus 4 over -2. And the second case is -6 minus 4 over -2. And we simplify that. Let's see, -2 over -2 is +1. And -10 over -2 is -5, +5. +5. All right, those are 2 x-intercepts. So on my picture, I'm going to put a dot at 1, it's right here, and a dot at 5, right here. Now technically, now I care about the shading part. Oh, let's see. We know this is dotted U, so technically these are open. So you're going to be really technical. If that's 1 and that's 5, I have an open circle, open circle. Now A is negative. That means this picture's flipped and it's dotted. So I'm going to draw a picture like this. All right. Now, I don't know where the vertex is. I could calculate it by doing axis symmetry, but I don't need that. I just need the general shape. Now I need to do a test point. Well, if I have 1 right here and 5 right here, I'm going to try the test point either 2 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 4.50, but I like, say 2. 2 is a nice number. So I'll plug it into the original problem. So it says 0 is less than 6 times 2 minus 2 squared minus 5. Well, that makes that what? 12 minus 4 is 8, minus 5 is 3. Was 0 smaller than 3? That is true. If it's true, you should have the test point. So my test point was right here. I guessed that. Now, your test point can be anything, but ideally, quadratic formula means pick something between the two roots. So this is a u that's shaded inside. Well, my problem doesn't have 2 letters. So I don't need the picture. I need the inequality just of this x-axis. See how it's shaded between the 2 points? That's what I'm going to write. X is in between, in the middle of the 2 points. So my final answer is x is in the middle. The first point is 1. The second point is 5. And that is it. So x is between 1 and 5. Next one, same idea. Graph and solve, and let's give myself some more space by moving this. All right, this one's standard form for us already, so just go straight to it. A equals 4, B equals negative 23, C equals 15. Plug into the formula. Negative b plus or minus square root b squared in parentheses minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Find the discriminant. Well, let's see. Over 8. 8's on bottom. I'm going to use a calculator for this. 23 squared minus 4 times 15 gives me 289. That's a nice number. Square root of 289 is 17, if you don't know that. So it's really 23 plus or minus 17 over 8. Well, I do the 2 cases. 23 plus 17 over 8 and 23 minus 17 over 8. Well, 40 divided by 8 is 5. 6 divided by 8 is 3 over 4. So now that we've got our 2 roots, we're going to plot them on the picture. 3/4 is right before 1. So if this is 1, I'll say this is 3/4. And then 5, this 5 is over here. Now it doesn't have to be exact, just sketch it. We just need to know the general shape. A is positive, so this is regular U, and it's solid. So here's my picture. All right, now I need to pick test point. So I'm going to pick something between 3/4 and 5. Well, 1 is between them, 2 is between them, 3 is between them. I'm going to use 1 though, because 1's a nice number. If I plug 1 into the original problem, so let me see, I use red. That'd be 4 times 1 squared minus 23 times 1 plus 15 should be greater than or equal to 0. Well, 4 times 1 squared is 4, minus 23 is negative 19. Negative 19 plus 15 is negative 4. Negative 4 is greater than or equal to 0. That is false. Since it's false, I do not shade on my test point. I shade on the other part. I'm shading outside the picture this time. All right. Now, look at my problem. It has 1 letter, so I don't need the picture. I need the inequality. Well, since... Oh, I need the x-axis as well. So we're not shading between the 2 points on the x-axis. It's on the outside. It's on the left of the first point or on the right of the second point. So I have to use the second one. I have to do x less than the first one, which was less than 3/4. Then you write or x is greater than the second one, so greater than 5. Now since my picture has a solid line, I put equal signs there. Here's my answer. All right, so x cannot be in the middle. You can't use the form we used before because we're not shading inside the u. We're shading outside the u. All right, here's one more. Solve this algebraically. It's the same thing. It's still inequality, so we still need a graph. Basic and standard form by adding 1 to both sides. So if I add 1 to both sides, we have x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. ABC, quadratic formula. 1, 2, 1. Plug it into the formula. Negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Do the discriminant. Oh, that is 4 minus 4 is 0. For 2, take the square root of 0, which is 0. Now since 0, there's only one solution. It'll be the same one twice. If I do the two cases, -2 plus 0 over 2 and -2 minus 0 over 2, they both give me -1 and -1. So when I draw a picture here, there's a point at -1, and that's all I know. So -1's right here. There's a point there, and it's solid. But I still know the directions of my shape. Remember U, my parabola. A is positive, is going up. All right, so here's my picture. All right, now I can't pick anything inside. I can pick beside it, but I'll actually pick a point above it. If this is 1, 0, I'm going to try right above it. I'll try 1, 1. I'll try -1, 1. And I'll plug it in. Well, there's no Y to plug in. Let's see. Let me check this to be sure. There's no Y to plug in. Should that work? All right, let's add one small thing. Let's put a Y here. So this is really Y minus 1. So I'm going to need Y on one side, which is fine. That's still standard form. So same thing. Now I'm plugging X and Y. Try -1, 1 to my test point. I'll use this one. So let's see. X squared. So -1 squared plus 2 times -1 plus 1 is less than or equal to Y. Y is 1. Simplify that. So 1 minus 2 is -1 plus 1 is 0. 0 is smaller than or equal to 1. Well, that is true. True means shade where that test point is. Remember, your test point cannot be on the U. Now, since I have both X and Y, my picture's answered. I don't need an inequality. All right, here's a practice problem. Try it. Now, I'll just mention this. If you do quadratic formula, you will not get a solution. You'll get a negative number inside square root, meaning imaginary answers. See, this has no x-intercepts. This is where quadratic will fail to help you graph this picture. So you're going to want to find the axis of symmetry, find the vertex, which this is vertex form. So let me just do this, why not? So I know this is down 3 and left 4, because my vertex HK would be -4, -3. So left 4, down 3 is right here. Now since A is negative, because remember we have Y equals AX minus H squared plus K is vertex form. That means my picture is upside down, and this is dotted. That's why it looks like this. All right, when you do this, you want to do a test point, either above or below the vertex. Well, if that's -4, -3, I try directly above right here. I try -4, 0. If you plug that in, that'd be 0 for Y, -4 for X. What's 0? Well, -4 plus 4 is 0. 0 squared is 0. 0 times -2 is 0 minus 3. 0 is bigger than -3. That's true. That's why you shade where the test point is, outside the U. And this is both X and Y, so that's my answer to the picture. All right, hopefully you got that. Again, this is Mr. Nguyen. Thanks for watching. See you in class. Bye.